Hey guys, Brown Bear here. Today we're going to look at a Case 1 carrier recovery, or Case 1 recovery, or Case 1 carrier landing, whatever way you want to look at it, in the FA-18C Hornet for DCS World. We are using the DCS Supercarrier here today. Two random shoutouts, first of all, to Ian Minton and Justin Gallant, two new subscribers. Thanks for your support to the channel, guys, and thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. So I'm just having a quick look around here and doing my checks. So this was just a quick mission that I set up. So there might be a couple of things out of place, but it was just for the sake of this tutorial. So, but anything that is out of place, you can pretty much ignore. It's not really that important. What is important is the fact that we're set up here at 800 feet MSL, and we will be accelerating shortly now to 350 knots. Coming up on the carrier just below us on the left hand side. So a couple of things. MFD on the left hand side is set to replicate the HUD page in case we have a HUD failure, and on the right hand side we have the checklist page. So obviously we'll be focusing on landing, so wheels, flaps, hook, anti-skid, harness and dispenser, and we'll go through that shortly. So here we have the landing pattern. Right now, which is where we are circled in red, is we're 800 feet AGL. This is where you should turn all your armament switches off, such as master arm, your shaft and flare dispenser to off, and your radar to silent, if you haven't already done so. And it's also where you should lower the hook. So you'll see me coming up now. We're going to check the deck is clear and the box is clear, which it is. So we're going to initiate a level break here to start our pattern. You can continue this on in a straight line for another 10 to 15 seconds. Depends on how much fuel you have, how many, if you have a loadout still on you, and or how heavy you are basically. So it does depend quite a bit, and you can tailor this according. This is just a guide, okay? So I purposely do this here. So I'm in a light aircraft. I'm clean. So I have, I think, about 50% fuel. So I don't. I'm doing it basically on purpose, just to show you how you can recover from any mistakes. But this is where you should do the landing checklist, and you'll see me going through the list now in a second. So you can see me there, just kind of doing another turn to recover there. So you can see I'm not watching where I'm going. I've lowered the landing gear, lowered the flaps, hook is down, landing lights are on, and this is where you would initially descend to 600 feet MSL. If you haven't already done so, I've already started to do, obviously already started to do it, but that was not on purpose. And there's kind of a hidden purpose of this tutorial is to show you that you will mess up, and it's okay to mess up. And as long as you recover and you do it properly, you will get back on the deck without, essentially killing yourself in the game. So we're descending now to 600 feet. You should initiate a 30-degree bank angle. Mine is obviously a little bit steeper here because I've made a mistake and I'm trying to recover, obviously on purpose. So you can see here we're descending here 150 knots and lowering, 580 feet MSL, and gradually reducing. Now I'm too far out for where I am, or my speed, and my obviously the mistake I made at the turn. So, and I'm very close into the carrier, so I'm at the 3/4 mile mark there already. See the destroyer in front of us? Purposely put him to the 3/4 mile mark to give us a ballpark figure. But you should be, level and straight with the carrier in front of you as you pass over him. You should not be where I am. So where I'm turning in is actually in the middle of the pattern, which is quite late. But you'll show how I'll show you here just now how easy it is to actually recover. So right here you should be on speed. And rule of thumb is, for the love of God, don't use the stick. The only input you should be using is throttle and trim. Trim the absolute hell out of it. That trim switch or trim hatch should not stop moving for the whole duration of this circuit. So right here I'm intercepting the glide slope, or is where you should intercept the glide slope. You'll see now I'm actually in the middle of the glide slope, so I'm halfway between where the plane is on the diagram there and the ship, or the carrier. So here we have the ball come up, FLOLS. This is where you would press the button to call the ball. You can see we're on speed, on AOA, or we were, and we'll show you a bit more in just a second. So right here this is the picture you want to see, okay? So if we start from the top left and we work our way around anti-clockwise, we look at the E bracket, okay, and velocity vector is that basically it looks like an E bracket on the velocity vector. So your velocity vector, you want that to be in the middle of the E bracket. That's your guide for the carrier landing, okay? Keep it there and you shouldn't have any problems. Velocity vector, you can see, is at the end of the carrier. That is where you want it to keep it, okay? That will stop you hitting the rear of the ship and will, you know, essentially slamming onto the deck. Below that you have on speed AOA. So that green circle there means we're on speed on AOA. I have a little chart here beside me. So if that was a green arrow above it, you'd be slow. If it was a green inverted arrow and the orange marker you see there, it's slightly slow. What we see here is on speed, and then slightly fast would be the orange circle with a inverted red mark there, which you see. Fast would be basically just the inverted red marker. Okay, so moving down onto the FLOLS, or the meatball, we have the lights. So basically what you want to do is the amber marker there in the middle, you want to keep that in line with the horizontal green bars, okay? That would mean you are on glide slope. Okay, so you can see here I'm kind of on the glide slope because the velocity vector, as we talked about earlier on, is in the middle of the E bracket, and we have on speed AOA on our AOA indicator there is amber. But in reference to everything else, we are slightly low, okay? So you want to bring that bar essentially a little bit up. It's kind of too late for that now. You know, you could try reducing your speed a slight bit, but not recommended to reduce the throttle, or as the LSO refers to it as EG, which is eased guns or easing the guns. You don't want to do that because you run a severe risk of slamming into the back of the carrier. Safest protocol would be to, if you're not going to make the landing, full throttle into afterburner or military power depending on your loadout, and bolter, and off you go, and re-enter the pattern and continue on your landing. On the bottom right there, you'll see, as I said, this is what you want to see, so we've already covered that. That's the ideal picture. Above that we have rate of descent marked in the HUD, which is, I think it's negative 820, which is slightly high or aggressive. So you want to see that reduce, you know, a little bit. Sub 700 I think is fine, but I stand to be corrected in the comments. Nose position, you can't really see it, but it's like a W symbol in the HUD. So that is where your nose is in reference to the horizon. And you'll see there I've roughly about 5 degrees pitch up or nose up on the nose there at the moment. And there we go. So continuing on, come down onto the deck. I'm slightly left off the center line there, but nevertheless I think that's a fairly decent landing considering the earlier mistakes. So right here we have the grading system. You can see it on the top right of the screen. So every landing you have on the carrier is graded. So if I start from the left hand side there, you'll see LSO grade, and there's a couple of dashes there. So what that means is it is effectively he hasn't given you a grade. So usually that would say okay, or you know, there's loads of other ones, you know, that you could get, but for the purpose of this, you know, usually you're going to get an okay, which is a pass, essentially, or that it's a pass for that part of the grade. So in this case we had a no grade, and that's because we deviated from, you know, the pattern. We entered the glide slope in the middle, we turned in late, so we made quite a number of mistakes, and obviously I said that, as I said earlier on in the video, that was on purpose to show you how you can actually easily recover. But obviously a lot of this depends on the weight of your jet, your loadout, your fuel quantity, and so on. If we keep going on to the middle part there, you'll see LULIM, which is lined up left in the middle. So what that means is I lined up initially left of the center line and in the middle, and then obviously beside that is EGTL. So referred to EG already earlier on. So EG stands for eased guns or reduced throttle. This is actually a bug at the moment in DCS World, and so if you see this, just try to ignore it. They are working on fixing it, but it's I don't believe it's a high priority. TL means to land. So this was obviously in the I eased guns to land. So obviously I eased them to get the plane down onto the deck and get the hook to catch one of the arrestor wires, which is obviously what you don't want to do. But as I said, this is a bug in the game. And obviously the last one there on the top right is wire number. So 3 wires. So 3 wires is what you want out of all of the arrestor wires on the carrier. So you've 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 3 is the one to go for. That's pretty much it. So from here on, you would fold your wings, or unlock the wings, fold them, bring up your flaps, hit that nose wheel steering button for nose wheel steering high, and get out of the way as quickly as possible. So look guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful. Please do hit that subscribe button, it would really help me out and help the channel out. Hit the bell if you want to get notified of further videos, and put a comment in as to what you thought of it. Like or dislike accordingly, and feel free to join us on my Discord channel, link in the description below. And yeah, with that, feel free to give me a suggestion as well. Okay, hope you enjoyed, and stay safe. Take care.